Welcome to the Dave's World YouTube channel. If you'd like to learn more about Project CRUZE Missile, just visit the Dave's World YouTube channel and check out the playlist CRUZE Missile or Cruise Mods. You can learn about the project that I've been doing to this car from beginning to end. There have been quite a bit of modifications. Some of them you could pick up just in this little teaser. I appreciate you checking this video out, and hopefully you stay tuned for some future footage. Hi everybody, thank you for coming back to the Dave's World YouTube channel, your home for automotive mechanical entertainment. So what I want to address today is the second generation CRUZE glove box or center console lid. The problem is this car is manual, and because it's manual, I have a shifter to move around, and it's sort of cramped where my arm has to move. I want to show you guys something on my other cars that are manual, and then show you something on this car that I think is ridiculous that GM decided to do. So first things first, let's check out the Corvette. If you look here, there's the shifter. It's pretty much a flat center console that doesn't get in your way when you have to move your arm to shift. Now let's check out the Miata. Same thing in the Miata. Nice flat center console. When I have to move my arm around, nothing gets in the way. I can shift the shifter. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a ridiculous design that GM decided to do in the CRUZE. Here we are in my CRUZE. This is a 2017 second generation CRUZE. The old CRUZE had an armrest that was basically about this high, and the shifter was up a little higher. So when you were shifting, it didn't give you any problems. This shifter, which this one is aftermarket, but the original one's only slightly taller, basically feels like I have someone's head underneath my elbow at all times. Driving the car is great when I go in the first gear, but when I want to get in the second, my arm constantly is hitting this armrest. So my idea is, if the armrest is just slightly lower, I actually won't hit it anymore. I don't know why General Motors decided to give this car such a tall armrest. So what I want to do is maybe somehow disassemble this lid and make the lid thinner, or cut this completely off and actually make it lower. So what I'm going to do today is start disassembling the center console to see what I can do to at least potentially make this a little further back. Maybe what I can do is modify this and slope it so this part's just not hitting my arm anymore, because it's very awkward to drive this car because of this armrest. So that's our project for today. So before I forget, I wanted to add this to the beginning of the video. If you go to my website, davescustomparts.com or davescarstuff.com, it'll bring you to this website. On the right hand side, if you go to the CRUZE parts, it will show you how to order. It will show you that my intercooler kit is now live. It will show you the wastegate, some information on the wastegate, the big brake kits, and then it'll also show you some samples of the different types of brakes. I wanted to put this in the beginning of the video because if I don't tell you what's on the site or how to get this stuff, you'll never know. So I appreciate everything, and hopefully you enjoy the video. Okay, so getting to this point's pretty easy. You're just going to use a screwdriver and pop all the covers off. So I took one screw from here, one screw from there, and then there's these two pins on the side that need to come out to hold the headrest. I assume they're under spring tension, but here's the one pin, and over here's the other pin, and it comes right out. Alright, so let's get this thing on the bench real quick and see if we can find a way to disassemble this and modify it, hopefully. Okay, I'm messing around with this thing a little bit, and I'm realizing that this is a very overcomplicated armrest. Let's say I were to cut this in half. The problem is all of this stuff goes up inside the armrest. So even if I wanted to lower the armrest, there's too many things that have to be inside of it to hide. Now, I don't personally need to go in this glove box, but I have an alternative. I have this left over. I hang on to a lot of parts. This is actually from my Silverado. This is an aftermarket armrest that covers the storage opening. It's a Velcro style, so I mean, if I have to go into it, it's like 2, maybe 3 times a year. It's about the same size, and I think what I can do is disassemble this, trace the shape, cut this down to size, and I have all the padding, and I can basically trim this down and remake this into this shape, and then make it so this will take over in the car instead of having this one, and it's going to gain me about maybe 3 inches worth of space. And let's go grab the panel from inside the car to see how that might work. Okay, here's the panel from inside the car that this would sit on. Basically, I just need to disassemble this, trace out the shape, and then reupholster it to match this shape. And then I can use these double-sided Velcro pieces on here, just like on the Silverado. And I should be able to gain enough space that I won't hit this thing anymore. So I guess the first thing I want to do is let's disassemble this thing. Okay, so this is a permanent modification that I don't care if I make. I'm going to just remove this little molded part that the original armrest would go into. Okay, let's see how this looks. Okay, perfect. The next thing I need to do is glue some foam down, then glue the upholstery around the outside, but I want to glue the foam down first. And while that's drying, I'm going to go buy a staple gun because for the life of me, I can't find my staple gun. I want the side of the armrest to have a little fluffiness to it. What I basically want to do is have this roll over. So I'm going to come out a little wider than where this needs to be. Actually, I may have to cut this smaller because wrapping that around will actually make the height a little higher. And it might be up high enough to bother me again. Well, I mean, granted, we are 3 inches lower than we were. Now this is fine, because you know what? When I wrap the leather around, the leather is going to be pulled tight. And that'll actually foam the sides, so that's what we want. Alright, the next thing I want to do is the glue looks like it held up. We need to put the fabric on. Now I could do this 2 ways. One way is to just start the fabric and staple it, and then stretch it the opposite way and then cut it as needed. That's probably the best way of doing it. But I think it would be better if I at least make this fabric smaller. I also want a flatter surface, so let me clean up a little bit. I'll turn the camera back on after I clean. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. I think I can put them wherever I want, as long as they're right along the edge, we're fine. But that actually looks like it was made for the car. It's a little dirty, I have sawdust on it still, but yeah, perfect. I'm excited. Okay, the next thing I want to do is let's get these Velcro pieces in the same way that the original was. All right. All right, I'm gonna go install this in the car real quick, and then I'll bring the camera in the car, see how it looks. Okay, well the new armrest is installed. It's nice and soft, and now when I shift gears, I'm not actually hitting the armrest. The armrest still works. I can shift gears, and now I can enjoy the car. The good thing is this is Velcro, so if I really need to get in here, I can. It actually looks like a factory armrest. And the good thing is I'm a driver. When I drive a car, I shouldn't have things in the car distract me from the road. Being able to get this car into second gear should not be more of a thought than just putting this stick into the second gear position. I shouldn't have to worry about where my elbow is, and I also shouldn't have to worry about if I hit something, the car not getting in gear. These are different distractions that constantly keep me from looking at the road. So that's why I couldn't wait to change this. I'll give you guys a closer look now. It's a little bit dusty from sawdust still. I have to clean it, but that looks like a factory part. I don't know why they couldn't just make the thing look at least that thin or something in that shape, so when you're moving the shifter, you're actually not hitting the thing. Okay, so it is, I want to say, about 3 months after I've done that modification to the center console. I have to say, it is an amazing upgrade. I don't even think about having to use the shifter anymore. That's how every car should be. I don't understand why General Motors decided to make the center console that way, but I don't know, whatever. I have no problem modifying stuff. Sometimes a few little modifications makes a car so much better, and I'm glad I did it. I don't have any more problems with the center console. The next video coming out, shifter-wise, would be the Q shift. I have another short throw shifter that I'm putting on the transmission. And then I have another modification to the clutch system where I'm going to be doing like sort of a clutch stop and modifying the clutch linkage. Those few little modifications transform this car, and I want to share everything with you guys. You guys love my cruise content, so I want to keep creating new content for everybody. I appreciate everything you guys do. Please like and subscribe. Believe it or not, I hate asking, but the YouTube algorithm requires to see likes and shares to know that a video is actually worth watching or popular. So I have to ask you to do it so it can help me grow the channel, and if I can grow the channel, I can bring you more content and do more things. Like, for example, I'm doing a big turbo to the car, and somebody had asked me to get my hands on a dyno so we could show some before and afters. Well, I wasn't going to do that, but now I'm going to spend some money on either going to a place and getting some dyno numbers before and after, or maybe I could find a hub-driven dyno that I can do my own dyno work in my shop. And I'm not going to be able to do that if the channel doesn't grow. So please like and subscribe. Please share if you can. I really appreciate all the support everyone gives me. Have a great day, and if you ever need anything, just ask. Talk to you guys later.